Welcome into this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we are going to catch you up to speed on all of the latest roster moves for your Kansas City Chiefs. Everything you need to know as they have signed 12 total players after the Super Bowl. We'll tell you who those individuals are coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, I got a challenge out there for the Chiefs Kingdom, as I want to set a record today. The most subscribers we've gained on a single video for the month of February so far, 107. Not bad, but I know we can do better than that, folks. Let's get 150 subs off today's video. We're bringing you live shows each and every week, daily news and rumors, breaking news, Q&A mailbags. We're talking draft, trades, free agency, and more. Your one-stop shop for all things Kansas City Chiefs. We are your off-season headquarters. Subscribe now to the Chiefs Report for free. You'll be glad you did. The roster moves for your Kansas City Chiefs over the last couple of days. Veach and company have signed a total of 12 players to reserve and future contracts after the Super Bowl. As the roster expands back to 90 total players, there were certain guys on the practice squad that they wanted to keep around to make sure that they are a part of the squad going into this offseason for OTAs and training camp and all that. So with that said, let's go ahead and tell you who these individuals are. We begin with tight end Anthony Firsker, who has been around the league for quite a bit. We'll tell you more about him coming up later. Jason Brownlee at the wide receiver position, he was signed, as was Deon Bush at the safety spot. And then tight end Baylor Cupp was also signed to the reserve futures contract list as well. 8 more names for you. They include Chukweubuka Godrick at the offensive tackle position, a former international player pathway player. We'll have more on him coming up in just a bit. Siaki Ika at the defensive tackle spot also was signed, as was Fabien Lovett at the defensive tackle position. And then at the quarterback spot, we saw this guy actually a decent amount in the preseason and was on the active roster for the final game of the regular season. Chris O makes his return as well. Justyn Ross, the former Clemson wide receiver star, he has been signed to a futures contract. We'll talk about him coming up later on. Tyquan Thornton, the former second-round pick out of Baylor, also signed. And then 2 more names for you. They include Darius Rush at the corner position and Eric Scott Jr. at the corner position as well. Completes the 12 players that were signed by Veach and company over the last couple of days. When I look at these 12 individuals, this is not a bad group at all for Kansas City to have for the reserve and future contract group of players here. And there's a few guys that catch my eye with some potential real threat of sorts that they could potentially be and maybe compete for an active roster spot. We're going to tell you about those names and what stands out to them about me coming up in just a moment. But before we do anything else, we want you guys to weigh in on our pinned comment today. How would you grade the Chiefs roster moves? A, B, C, D, or F? I'll give you my grade coming up in just a moment, but I want to hear from you guys first. Weigh in the comment section and let us know. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose 2 or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from, as we're talking everything from golf to NASCAR to soccer, all sorts of different sports that you can choose from. And Prize Picks has got 2 great deals they're offering you right now, folks. They will give you $50 to play for free when you play $5. You don't even have to win to get the money. And on Prize Picks right now, folks, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. I mentioned NASCAR. I love NASCAR. I'm a big fan. Can't wait for the Daytona 500, the Great American Race this weekend. And I'm looking ahead to the start of the NASCAR season, as I'm going to pair up Ty Gibbs to get more than 1 race win this season. Also going with Tyler Reddick to have more than 3 race wins as well. If I put $20 down and both these hit, that turns into $60 on Prize Picks. Play along with me, prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. All-Star Weekend is almost here, and Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching your favorite players during the game in these Saturday night events, like the 3-point contest. Prize Picks offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts, select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. My grade is a B+, and here's why I give this a B+. There's a few guys that I really like that stand out to me, and then there's others that it's pretty obvious they're just camp bodies that are just kind of filling a role for the time being when it comes to their place on this Chiefs roster. You didn't hurt this team by any stretch of the imagination with these 12 individuals that you ended up signing to these deals. Let's start with Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Thornton, we mentioned, former second-round pick out of Baylor by the Patriots, joined the Chiefs this past year, and we saw a few flashes from Tyquan Thornton with New England. His career stats include 39 total catches, 384 yards, nearly 10 yards of reception, and 2 touchdowns. And this was somebody that not too long ago the New England Patriots were very high on, but then circumstances didn't really go his way. And I think a lot of it had to do with just the situation he was in New England, where there was so much dysfunctionalness to that organization, and they didn't know how to properly use guys. I think there's some untapped potential here with Tyquan Thornton. And we've seen the Chiefs have a really good track record of taking these under-the-radar receivers and doing something with them. Now, do I expect him to ever live up to the hype of being that second-round pick he was a couple of years ago? Certainly not. But maybe he can compete and crack the mold for that number 5 or number 6 receiver role, similar to like McCole Hardman or something potentially there on that front. Another name that Chiefs fans are very familiar with is Justyn Ross, the former undrafted free agent out of Clemson in 2022, signed with the Chiefs. He's played in 12 career games with 1 start, and in his 12 games, limited production, 6 receptions, 53 yards, 2 touchdowns, 8.8 yards a reception. And with Justyn Ross, we know the talent's there. I still remember vividly when he was at Clemson his freshman year and played a pivotal role on that national championship team with the Clemson Tigers. And everybody saw him that night and thought, wow, this guy's got some superstar potential. And then things kind of went downhill from there. So if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you're looking at Justyn Ross and you're saying, hey, we've seen what this guy can do, but he struggled to stay healthy for much of his career. We're kind of just waiting at this point and seeing if he can be that player that he once was when he was a young star at Clemson, and the Chiefs are kind of just gambling on his potential at this point in time. If you had to pick one wide receiver, which one is more likely to make the 53-man roster? Do you think it's Tyquan Thornton, or do you think it's Justyn Ross? Type TT for Tyquan Thornton, type JR for Justyn Ross. Weigh in the comments section and let us know. Let's talk about Chukweubuka Godrick now. He made some headlines last offseason as he was arrested for a marijuana possession charge in Johnson County. And for folks that don't know, you're not going to get away with that in Johnson County. I can tell you that much. Great story, though. Entered the league as an international pathway player in 2023. And this is a guy that the Chiefs have felt like is a work in progress. He's still learning the game and how the NFL operates and how the Chiefs operate, but he looks the part. He's got the size. He has the body to play the position. Will he ever figure it out? We'll see, but there is some reason to be optimistic there. Let's tell you about Anthony Firsker now, the most experienced player of anybody on the future and reserve contracts. Anthony Firsker, undrafted in 2017 out of Harvard. He's been a journeyman of sorts, playing with the Jets, Titans, Falcons, and Lions in his career. He's posted 115 total catches, over 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns, close to 11 yards of reception. A lot of experience. And if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you think about this tight end situation. We're still waiting to see what Travis Kelce is going to do. And I would expect that the Chiefs are going to bring in another tight end of sorts if Kelce's gone, whether that's through the draft or free agency. But to have Firsker there as your last line of defense potentially isn't a bad option to have on your practice squad to at least hold down that final spot potentially as far as that goes. Who is your favorite Chiefs signing? Among these 12 individuals, who stands out to you? Weigh in the comment section. Give me a name that comes to mind that you like from this group. Weigh in and let us know. Last player on this list that stands out to me is Eric Scott Jr., the former 6th-round pick out of Southern Miss by the Dallas Cowboys. Joined the Chiefs in 2024, the Baser, Kansas native, getting to play for his hometown team. And I heard some great stories about him when he was at Baser Linwood High School of just the athlete he was, not just as a football player, but as a basketball player as well. Really just lit it up there at Baser Linwood. And he's also has some potential when it comes to the return game as well with his abilities as a kick and punt returner. That could be a path potentially for him on special teams to make the 53-man roster, but he's a name to keep an eye on as far as that goes. So there you have it. That is a look at the latest Chiefs signings. There'll be plenty more to come over the next few weeks. Free agency just about a month away. We will cover it all right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for the latest happenings on your favorite team each and every day throughout the offseason right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. It is absolutely 100% free. Appreciate you joining us. I'm Tyler Jones. We will see you next time right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Subscribe now. We'll see you next time.